My name is Dick Parsons. I'm chair of the St. Louis Park Community and Youth Development Fund. Our mission is primarily to provide funding to programs and services that serve children in the community. We also do a little bit more than that, but that's our primary focus. So tonight, 21 organizations receive checks between $2,000 to $3,000 up to $15,000 to support their programs in the community. So we're lucky enough to be able to hold the event at Steel Toe Brewing because, after all, who doesn't like to come to a brewery and have a beer? But Jason Schoeneman has a wonderful facility at Steel Toe that works terrific to be able to host an event like this. St. Louis Park Community and Youth Development Fund was founded over 16 years ago, in part inspired by Jim Vermeer and what he saw going on up in Chisholm, Minnesota. Jim talked to Phil Weber at Park Tavern, and Phil decided to provide funding to support nonprofits in the community.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out Steel Toe and supporting us. I appreciate that. And I'm going to turn it over to Dick Parsons. There he is. And here he is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. How about another round for Jason for letting us host our Give Back Day at Steel Toe Brewery. Awesome. Jason is a great friend of the community, so we really, really appreciate your support. Thank you. In addition to Jason, I also want to welcome you to the Community and Youth Development Fund's Give Back Day. This is our 16th annual day that we've given out grants, and with this year's grants, which will be over $98,000, we will have reached almost $750,000. We're $2,000 short of $750,000 since 2004. So it's really wonderful to see all the nonprofits and organizations that provide support to people in our community, and it's what makes St. Louis Park such a wonderful place to live, like a great little small town with all the good aspects of it, right? Yeah. So I'd also like to introduce my fellow board members. Over on the right is Tammy Andrews, who also helped us secure a grant from Citizens Independent Bank. Dave Klein is next. Elena Perry. Jim Brimmeyer. Who am I forgetting? Rhoda right here. And myself, Dick Parsons, and I think that's all we have. Am I missing somebody? No. And I want to make one mention more of Jim Brimmeyer. It was several years ago, maybe 20 now, that you were up at a city managers conference in the Iron Range and heard about what I think was the Community Foundation for Hibbing and the wonderful work they did, Chisholm. And he brought the idea back to St. Louis Park, and he convinced Phil Weber at Park Tavern to help fund this from his pull tabs. So as a result, all this money goes to good causes. So thank you, Jim Brimmeyer. So with that, I want to mention that our foundation, our primary beneficiaries are organizations and nonprofits that support children. Most of the money goes to that effort. What else do we have to tell you here? I think we can get to that's all the important things. I'm done talking. So again, we have 21 organizations getting over $98,000, and what we'd like you to do is come up when your organization is called and introduce yourself if you would. I think we have your names, but introduce yourself, a quick snippet of what your organization does, and a quick snippet of how you will use this funding, if you would, please, okay? And we have 22 to go through, so.
All right, first we have up from Angel Foundation, Sarah Maines.
Thank you very much. My name is Sarah Maines. I'm with Angel Foundation. We are the only place in Minnesota that gives money to adults who are in active cancer treatment to pay for large non-medical bills. And then we also focus on kids when the parent has cancer. So we help the parent communicate about their diagnosis, survivorship needs, end of life through camp, family programs, teen programs, retreats, all great things. The check that we are given today funds our Angel Pack Backpack program in St. Louis Park. That's one of our sites. We're in 57 oncology clinics, free backpack resources to families. So thank you very much for your support. We're glad to be here.
Well done. Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have Children's First, Debbie Wells.
Hi, I'm Debbie Wells, thank you. And Children First, I'm interim director for Children First. I'm getting pretty good at this interim stuff. So Children First is an organization unique to St. Louis Park, and we are all about adults doing intentional acts to build children's assets, and we're based on the 40 developmental assets that were established by the Search Institute. And we will use these funds to support our annual Children's Champion Breakfast. And it will be matched.
You get the big check.
I get to keep it.
Oh, don't lose the other one. Oops, sorry. Next we have Children's Dental Services, Zoe Halliday Gagia.
Hi, I'm from Children's Dental Services. My name is Zoe. I am the outreach coordinator, and I've been with Children's Dental Services for 3 joyful years. And we are a 100-year-old nonprofit dental clinic that serves over 700 different locations all over Minnesota, providing dental education, on-site dental care, free dental screenings in whatever schools that want to have us. And we served it, I have some notes here because I knew that I would need them, but we served over 37,000 patients last year. And so certainly the grant that we're receiving from, today is definitely going to help us expand our services into St. Louis Park. We currently go to the central school that has the clinic attached to it. And we do provide care there for community patients, and definitely we're looking at getting into the Peter Hobart Elementary School. And yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, next we're doing basketball in the park, Shantae Ford.
Yes, Shantae.
My name is Shantae Ford, and I helped to run the basketball program, also partnered with Perspective, so I'm not taking all the credit here, but we will use the funds. Oh, it's a program with the cops and the community at Ainsworth Park. We meet in the summertime on Thursday nights. We will use the funds for supplies and food because we like to serve dinner each night as well. So thank you very much.
Next we have Cops and Kids Holiday Shop, and I have Officer Aaron Nordrum.
So I'm Erin Nordrum, and this is a program that I started 6 years ago. We partner with the St. Louis Park Middle School, and we choose kids who are going through a tough time. We provide them a gift card for dinner for a holiday or whatever they want to choose, and we go and shop and have fun and eat pizza and have treats, and then they take home bags of gifts wrapped for their family, despite whatever holiday they celebrate. So it's a great time. We partner a cop with a kid, and usually the relationships carry on throughout the year. So cops will go visit for lunch, and it's just a great time.
Next, we have Cornerstone. I have Courtney Puja.
Hi everyone, my name is Courtney Poya. I'm the Director of Advancement at Cornerstone, and we work with families and individuals affected by domestic violence, sexual violence, human trafficking, and general crime. This grant will help support our full continuum of services, which includes crisis shelter. We have legal services, support groups. We also provide clinical therapy for adults and children, as well as transitional housing. And so one of the areas we really like to focus on is our work with kids, which we believe is really important, so that prevention piece, so that we do not see the cycle of violence continue in our community. So I just wanted to say thank you again for the grant. This is wonderful. Thank you.
And next we have Family Enhancement Center. I have Mary Suri, and I'm not sure if John Comer made it here yet.
Hi, I'm Mary Suri, as Rhoda said. I work at Family Enhancement Center, and that is a nonprofit. It's in Minneapolis, but we do serve the region, so we actually serve St. Paul and Minneapolis in the areas, really Hennepin County and Ramsey County, occasionally Rice County. And what we do is for people who have experienced trauma in their life, we provide wraparound services for them to heal from trauma, to give them their self-esteem again, and to build them back up. But I'm really excited tonight because with this check, we are going to be able to serve more people in St. Louis Park. We're bringing in a special program. It's called Healing Motion. It is specially directed at girls who are 13 to 18 who have had a traumatic experience, and usually that traumatic experience is either abuse, general abuse, or sexual abuse, and they get stuck in a place. Their natural response is fight or flight, and that is not something that's very productive to young girls trying to figure out this world that we're all going to live in. So we're really excited. We're partnering with Nest, and we're coming into St. Louis Park really strong with the program. Thank you.
Next, we have Jim Vermeer coming up to discuss his award for keys.
I'm a little embarrassed. I'm in charge of the Rotary Poinsettia fundraiser for the Rotary Foundation. I'm in charge of doing Rotary taxes, which I did over the weekend. I'm partially semi-retired, so I'm starting to play pickleball. So I get home this evening and I look at my emails, and there's an email from Rhoda that said we could take credit cards tonight, and I thought, oh shit.
We didn't hear that.
Tonight is our give back day. So I showed up. And then I found out that we got this. So keep every youth safe is a little different. Started a couple years ago. I got on it by accident. We have a young lady named Anna Mae who grew up as an abused teenager, had a very rough life, and said kids need to be a chance to learn certain values, like how to get an education, how to get through school, how to do a budget, how to get a job, how to do a resume. We're not a homeless shelter. We want to help kids grow into young adults. And I said, what does that mean? And we all said, we don't know, but we gave it a shot. We now have 5 kids, off and on, living with Anna Mae. We're subsidizing the rent. That's not been done, I don't think, before. One of Anna Mae's partners, Angelica, I'll name her, has just gotten a job working Starbucks full-time. She's in Normandale College. She's out of her house with an abusive mother. She's a worker with Edward Jones. Her 4 brothers and sisters stay with Anna Mae occasionally on a weekend, get out of the house. One of them's going to University of Minnesota Duluth. Is it all going to be success? We don't know. I can't stand up here and tell you this is a humongous success. We don't know, but we got our fingers crossed, and we think it will be. And I'm just so proud to be here to say we've given away almost $750,000 in 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Next, we have Sarah Granger with Move Forward. Is she here? Nope. Okay. We'll save hers for her. After that, we have Jenna Hansen with Pacer.
Hi, everyone. Pacer Center, we advocate for children with disabilities and their families, specifically in educational rights. So if their families feel like they're not getting the education that they deserve, we step in and make sure that they're getting the accommodations that they need. And with this money, we will be focusing on our assistive technology program, the Simon Technology Center. So kids who maybe have trouble communicating or using their hands, we will buy technology that will help them learn how to lead a more independent life. So thank you very much.
Okay, next we have coming up, just gotta flip my sheet here. We have Paul Danisic from Park Nicollet, Growing Through Grief.
Thank you. You may know Park Nicollet Foundation is a hospital foundation supporting the patient and family experience at Methodist Hospital and throughout our clinics. But for many, many, many years, Park Nicollet Foundation has also been very active in the community because to really support health, some folks long time ago realized that we have to go outside of the walls of the hospital. And so we have several different community programs, and this is particularly for Growing Through Grief. We're very honored to receive it. Growing Through Grief works for kids who have had a death-related loss in their family or a loved one, and they're dealing with grief. And as you know, unresolved grief can result in a lot of issues, hold kids back, lack of paying attention in school, all sorts of things. And so this really is a unique program. It follows kids all the way from elementary school through graduation. It's no charge to them or their families, and you get real relationships built with the counselors and the kids that go through the program. So I'm happy to say this, we're here at St. Louis Park. There's 5 grief groups operating here, and last year they had over 500 contacts with kids. So we're going to use that for that. So I'd like to thank you guys.
All right, next we have Parktacular, and we have quite a few special people here tonight with Parktacular. We have Maggie Myers, we have Douglas Derlin, Tammy McKenna, and some great little princesses over there, if they want to come up and stand up here with them.
Hi, I'm Maggie Myers. I'm with the Parktacular Festival. We've got Douglas Derlin, Tammy McKenna, some of our ambassadors. We are the City Festival, operating the Father's Day weekend in June. And with this award, we are going to, we kind of identified a gap in some of the community that we serve for our festival. And so we are going to create a new event for our festival, temporarily called a teen event, but it's going to be on Thursday night. We're going to service the high school aged kids with a fun event at the Rock. We'll have music and food and all kinds of stuff that will service that community, that group, because I think we're kind of missing them in our festival, and we're excited to do that. And please join us all at the festival in June. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Next we have Perspectives. Lisa Day, please.
have to follow all of that. I'm Lisa Day. I'm the grant writer at Perspectives. Our mission is breaking cycles for total family recovery. We provide supportive housing with comprehensive services to help families truly break the cycles that led to their homelessness and move forward with their lives. This grant will specifically go towards our Kids Connection program and Kids Cafe program that provides social, emotional enrichment and also nutritional enrichment to elementary kids, kindergarten through 8th grade. And our nutritional program, Kids Cafe, we take great pride in. The children, along with getting a daily community meal, work with our chef and learn. They plan the menu, they cook it, and create it for the whole community and their parents. Last year we served over 11,000 healthy meals and snacks to 104 children on a daily consistent basis. So thank you so much for making that possible.
Next we have Relate Counseling Center, Becky McNatton.
Hi there, thanks for having me. My name is Becky McNatton and I'm the Clinical Director at Relate Counseling Center. Relate is a community mental health clinic providing outpatient therapy to people of all ages. We have a specific focus on kids and their families. And we are in 9 school districts and 50 school buildings in the metro area. And one of the school districts that we're in is the St. Louis Park School District. We're at the elementary, the middle school, junior high, and the high school level. We've been in the St. Louis Park School District for 16 years, and so have a really strong relationship with this community. And currently, this year, we are providing 112 hours each week of mental health care to kids at all of those ages. So this money is going to be going to help offset that cost. When we're working with kids in schools, we're providing access to free mental health care for kids who have lots of barriers to accessing any kind of services outside of a school. And that could be transportation, financial. So this money is going to be going to help provide that in this community, and we're really thankful that we have the dollars. Thank you.
All right, next we have Ariel Steinman from St. Louis Park Seeds.
Thanks. My name is Ariel Steinman. I'm the Operations Director at SLP Seeds. We work to end food insecurity in St. Louis Park, and we do that by growing wellness and resiliency, by teaching nutrition classes and gardening classes. These funds right here are going to go to our intern and apprenticeship program. This year we had 10 interns, ages 11 through 28. And most of them were urban agriculture. Some did food advocacy, and we served food. We harvested over 1,000 pounds of food this year that was distributed to people in St. Louis Park. And thank you.
All right, next we have STEP, and that is going to be Jennifer Ortali.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ortali. I also take that too. It's actually correct pronunciation, so thanks. I am proud to serve as the STEP board chairwoman, if you will, and which has been great fun. STEP, St. Louis Park Emergency Program, we are honored to be part of this community to serve kids, families, seniors, anybody in St. Louis Park that needs emergency assistance with food or coats, or emergency assistance with their housing. We have programs for that. We have social workers on staff that holistically will look at the needs of each person. So it just fills me with emotion to think how fortunate we are as a community to have something like STEP in the community. So we also serve kosher food needs. So keep that in mind if you know anybody that is kosher and has a food need, even if they're outside of St. Louis Park. So we thank you. This is going to go towards our general operating expenses so we can best meet the needs. And here's Derek, our director. to hear this twice. Derek, what should we do with this money?
I don't know what's been said. Yes. So the wonderful thing about this grant is that it is part of our fall matching campaign, which is going on right now, which inspires community members to give to us. So this $15,000 will become $30,000 thanks to the generous support of everyone. So we really appreciate it. Thanks to the community's generosity, we're able to care for our neighbors. And hundreds of families come through our doors every month seeking help with meeting basic needs. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath because I ran here. Yes, so it really makes a difference, and what we try to do every day is improve lives, and you all help us do us. So thank you.
I have to note that Derek just drove in from Duluth, where he was at I believe a food insecurity conference. So he literally just ran in the door to take this.
Next is St. Louis Park Friends of the Arts. They have 3 grants tonight. And I have Jamie Marshall. I'll tell you about the grants. He has Arts for Life Scholarship as grant number 1. And then for grant number 2, he has Gift of Music Program. Grant number 3, Community Building Events.
Thank you. So Friends of the Arts is a nonprofit arts organization here serving the St. Louis Park community. And these 3 grants are for the Arts for Life Scholarship Program. We provide funding to St. Louis Park residents of any age to participate in a music or arts activity that they don't have the financial capacity to participate in. It serves a lot of youth to take music lessons, which segues nicely into our Gift of Music program. We accept donated musical instruments that are no longer being used. If you have an instrument collecting dust in a basement, we will take it, we repair it into working condition so that it's like new. We partner with the schools to get them into the hands of students who would otherwise only have access to their musical instrument at school during their band or orchestra period. So that allows them to practice at home, to take private lessons, to take the same instrument that they play on in elementary school with them to middle school and to high school and beyond if they choose to play past that point. So a lot of those same students who are getting those access to the instruments will apply for scholarships to get lessons on that instrument. So these programs really support one another. And then the third grant is for our other community events. So we have poetry jams, we have the St. Louis Park Art Fair in September, we have exhibits that support the plethora of artistic talent that is here in St. Louis Park. And we bring people together and form social connections through all of these events. So thank you so much for this crucial funding and support. Thank you.
Next we have St. Louis Park and Rec Department, and I have Corey. Sorry, had to take a breath there. Corey Shingles.
Hi everyone, I am super excited to be here. My name is Corey Shingles and I work with the Operations and Recreation Department here at the City of St. Louis Park. We are excited to be able to have this funding as it will go towards our financial assistance program, which that's not really a fun thing to say. So we have revamped it and changed it, and now it's called Access to Fun. So that we can provide access to all the cool, fun things that we do here for our youth in St. Louis Park. So these funds will actually go towards that program to help people be able to take an art class or play sports or participate in all the different programs that we offer. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I come prepared with information on the program. So any of you who are in this room, community partners for ours, would love it if you could help us get the word out to any of the students that you have, any of the neighbors or friends. Let them know that we have this so that we don't have any barriers and everybody can access the fund. So thank you.
Next we have Bridge for Youth. I have Christina Woodley and Tim Merker.
Thank you. I'm Christina Woodley, the Associate Director at the Bridge for Youth. We are the largest emergency shelter for homeless youth in the state of Minnesota, serving youth ages 10 through 17. Homelessness doesn't know a zip code, it doesn't know an age, it doesn't know a face. It knows that it happens, and when it happens, a kid needs a safe place to go. So annually, we have about 600 kids that turn to the emergency shelter where they have basic needs. So they have food, clothes, access to health care, access to mental health. Our focus is family reunification whenever safe and possible, and when not possible, safe and stable housing. They're kids. They deserve to be kids and focus on that. So we really appreciate this. It's nice to look around and see some of our partners. We were at basketball in the park. We'll be back again this year. But we just really appreciate your support. So thank you so much.
Next I have is Park Theater, Jim McDonald.
My name is Jim McDonough. I'm the board chair of the Park Theater Company, St. Louis Parks Community Theater. We've been in existence for 11 years now. Started in 2008 after a planning year in 2007. We're a kind of traditional community theater. We appeal to all ages, but with the generous funding that we've received over the years from the Community and Youth Development Foundation, we've been able to share our talents and treasures with children and youth who are economically challenged, as are their families. And so we provide free passes, free complimentary tickets to our performances for those in need. And we've partnered with STEP, which is near and dear to Dick's heart, and to Perspectives and other youth organizations, Children First in St. Louis Park. If any of your organizations that you represent here, just simply Google the Park Theater Company and get in touch with us, and we'd be happy to provide those tickets for your organizations as well, and for the children and youth you serve. I just want to share a reflection this year. I'm also a liaison board member to the St. Louis Park Friends of the Arts, and we were talking about what's unique about St. Louis Park. I will be celebrating in May my 45th year here in the park as a resident and as a community member. And something that has always impressed me about St. Louis Park is that it's a can-do community. I've never heard anyone come forward with an idea or a recommendation or a suggestion that hasn't got some kind of support. Well, why don't you just try that? And we do that here in the park. We're that kind of people, and we continue to be that kind of people. So it's not only can do, anything's possible. And I tell you, after 45 years, I could give you the rest of the evening I could take giving you examples of where those kind of wild, frivolous ideas, including community theater, started out on a grassroots level and now has become an institution, so to speak. We're here to stay. We also produce a YouTube cable TV program called Arts in the Park Video Magazine. We have published 20 programs on ParkTV 15 in conjunction with them, and also uploaded it to YouTube, which features many, many young people as well as arts activities in the park that occur here over the last 2.5 years. Just want to share with you one final thing. We have hosted for the past 11 years, our 11th anniversary. The Rotary Club now sponsors the summer concert series in the park. How many of you are familiar with that or have attended the amphitheater during the summer? Wednesday nights in particular, but they've expanded to other nights. Well, we do the community talent show, which kind of wraps up the year's music festivities and entertainment festivities there. And this year, we had a 6.5-year-old, she emphasized the half-year-old, who was the first to raise her hand in the auditions, that she wanted to audition first, and she sang 2 songs for us. Well, I thought that was a record. That was the youngest performer we've ever had, not just at the Community Talent Show, but in any of our theatrical productions. But during the course of that show, a 3-year-old from the audience came forward and had his mom petition us that he wanted to come up and do Baby Shark, which I had no idea what Baby Shark was until the World Series happened, and then I found out what a national rage Baby Shark was for, the Washington Nationals. But he got up at 3 years old and did Baby Shark. Of course, he lip-synced that, and danced to it. So if you Google Arts in the Park in a couple of weeks, you'll see Baby Shark on there. A 3-year-old Jaden doing it. So anything's possible. Thank you so much.
All right, now we have Treehouse Youth. Greg Hildebrand is going to be coming up.
Thank you so much. I was telling people at my table it's dangerous to give me a mic. I'm a talker, so I'm going to try to keep it short, but Dick, feel free to, pull the plug if you need to. Absolutely. Right. So thank you again for this check for $5,000. Treehouse is an organization that's been in St. Louis Park for 10 years, and we are on a mission to end hopelessness amongst teens. The CDC did a study and last year found that 31% of teenagers are struggling with hopelessness, feeling sad for 2 or more straight weeks, causing them to stop doing usual activities that they would normally do. And the teenage years are volatile years. The prefrontal cortex in the brain is not able to determine that my actions now, what that will lead to in the future. And sometimes teens take drastic measures for certain problems. So at Treehouse, we want to put an end to that hopelessness. And the way that we do that is through several programs, one of them being support groups. So on Tuesday nights, we do support groups in St. Louis Park. There are 3 vans that'll pick kids up and drop kids off at home, serve them a meal. There'll be about 30 teens there. And on those support group nights, they'll hear that they're lovable, capable, and worthwhile, that they're loved without strings and never alone, and that they have a future. And a quick story is once teens grab a hold of that and believe that for themselves, they'll actually begin to speak those truths over each other. So this spring, Treehouse van was bringing teens home, and they noticed that there was a young lady about to jump off of a bridge. The driver stopped the van. The teens jumped out, grabbed this young lady, pulled her down, and said, "You are lovable, capable, and worthwhile. You are not alone. You have a future." And this woman in tears started crying and said, I've never had anybody speak these things over me. So it's not just us helping teens, but teens are really carrying this message and serving each other. So thank you so much.
And last but not least, we have Wayside Recovery Center, and we have Teresa Evans.
Thank you so much. I'm Teresa Evans. I'm the Chief Advancement Officer at Wayside Recovery Center. We're helping families recover from addiction and trauma. And we are celebrating this year our 65th anniversary, so we're very, very excited. And the majority of that time has been in St. Louis Park, and so we have our Women's Center here, and we also have our supportive housing here. And so these funds are going to support our supportive housing. And to really know how these funds are impacting families, it's supportive long-term housing, permanent housing. We had a family move in, a mother and a child move in, a 9th grader who just graduated this year. They've been in supportive housing for the last 4 years. In those 4 years, he's been able to stay in school, in the same school, in a St. Louis Park school, and really stabilize, create friendships, create a really like a support network for himself. His mother was able to get her degree, graduate at the top of her honors, and they just bought a house this year. And so they're moving out, and that's real stability. And so these funds go to support those families. So thank you so much.
Question. Yes. So I'd like to thank Brad Bakken in the back of the room, and Tammy is Marketing Director. Wave your hands, yes. for making that happen. Thank you, Jim. So that's our presentation. It's amazing what all you do in the community and how this makes St. Louis Park such a special place to live. We'll do it again next year, I believe, and enjoy the festivities. And if you do see Phil Weber at Park Tavern, please make sure to tell him thanks. It might be a good idea to send Phil a thank you note because the money does come through him, so it's really important. So thank you all for what you do, and see you next year.